Hey, what's going on YouTube? So today I'm going to showcase my 3 skill build for the Stamina Sorcerer, updated for the Scribes of Fate DLC patch. This build is capable of pulling over 110k on the parse dummy. Although technically this build uses 4 skills and an ultimate, only 3 skills will be used at any given time. This build is viable for most endgame content, and with the flexibility of so many bar slots, it becomes a really good baseline build for adding whatever skills or gear you may need for specific content. So starting off in the character sheet, I have 64 points in the stamina, and I'm running the Thief Mundus. As per usual, I'm a Dark Elf for this particular build. For consumables, RTM Takeaway Broth is probably the best food for content. A cheaper and almost as good alternative would be Dubious Cameron Throne. And lastly, Lava Food Soup and Salt Rice for when you're parsing or need more sustain. For the potions, we're keeping it super simple, and we're just going to be running Essence of Weapon Power. Reason being is we don't have access to major brutality or savagery, and thus these potions are required. Furthermore, make sure you have 3 points in a medicinal use from the alchemy skill line to benefit from the full duration of the potions. So for CP, for the blue tree, we're going to be running Master at Arms, Deadly Aim, Wrathful Strikes, and Backstabber. For the red tree, Boundless Vitality, Fortified, Rejuvenation, and Bloody Renewal. So for the gear, we're going to be running 5 pieces of Pillar and Urn paired with 5 pieces of Reliquin, a Maul Infernal monster set, and a Maelstrom Greatsword on the back bar. So breaking it down in the main hand, we have a Pillar and Urn Greatsword, Precise, with a flame damage enchant. On the back bar, a Maelstrom Greatsword infused with a weapon damage enchant. For the head and shoulders, we have 2 pieces of Maul Infernal, both in medium, traded divines with max dam enchants. And for the body, we have 5 pieces of Reliquin, all traded in divines with max dam enchants. And lastly, for the jewelry, 3 pieces of Pillar and Urn jewelry, all traded in Bloodthirsty with weapon damage enchants. For the skills, we're going to be running Daedric Prey, Wrecking Blow, Executioner, our 2 pets, Flawless Dawnbreaker, on the back bar, Stampede, 2 flex spots, we have Fighters Guild skills in them, Baltal Familiar, Twilight Tormentor, and Greater Storm Atronach. So because we have so few skills to work with, our rotation is going to be super simple. Just keep up Daedric Prey and Stampede as best as possible, and then to fill in the gaps, use your Wrecking Blow. At about 30 to 35%, you can replace Wrecking Blow with Executioner. And then lastly, drop your ultimate, Greater Storm Atronach, whenever it's ready. So for closing thoughts, Wrecking Blow got significantly buffed. They added Major Berserk as part of the skill now, and that's why the DPS is way higher than it ever used to be. So just very quickly, gear alternatives. Coral Riptide is probably going to be a really good set if you can maintain your stamina. You might have to run more stam heavy skills, but if you can manage it, it is a really strong set. Aegis Collar is a really strong set as well. It's like Reliquin, but without the stacks, and does good damage. Although Reliquin does do more damage, especially if it's single target. Venomous Smite is also another good proc set. This is also AoE as well, so not a bad choice. Berserking Warrior, still a good set. It is in heavy armor, so if you want to run it, you're going to have to run weapon and jewelry. Zovgan is okay. It's fallen off a little bit, but it is good if you need that extra bar slot, so you don't have to run trap. Back Alley, Gourmand, Sororia, and Whirl are all light armor sets, but they can work depending on how many pieces of light armor you want to wear. And lastly, as a budget build, Order's Wrath and Huntings is a solid start. For arena weapons, instead of running Maelstrom Greatsword, you can run a bow. So Dragonstar Bow or Maelstrom Bow could potentially be pretty good for this build. And lastly, the Black Rose Prison Dagger Spectral Cloak is actually a really good choice to run as well. And if you don't want to run a monster set and you want to run a mythic, Sea Serpent, Mora, Harpooners, and Death Dealer are all solid choices. Although I should note that Sea Serpent, the Major Berserk is kind of pointless because we get it from our Wrecking Blow now. And for monster sets, instead of Maul, you can run Kjarnar, Stormfist, and Zon. Make sure only one person in the group is running Kjarnar, because only one person can actually run it. And that wraps up the build explanation section. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below, or come join our Discord. Link is in the description. I will have a written guide linked in the description for those who would prefer that. And lastly, thank you to my YouTube members, and if you want to help support the channel, please consider subscribing and becoming a member. Feel free to stick around for the rest of the parse. If not, have a good day, and as always, see you in the next one.